Welcome to Sweeping the Country if it's your first time. And, of course, if you've been here before, welcome back to Sweeping the Country. And remember, tell a friend. My co-host, Mr. Jimmy Carter, always entertaining, always full of information, and doggone it, he's always in a good mood. Jimmy, how are you?
I'm doing good, except for in parts of the country, people have ragweed, have fall allergies.
Is that like marijuana?
If you have,
no.
I wish.
No.
It's just, it makes your eyes water and your nose run.
Oh, you
and
got
some
it.
people don't have any allergies except for the fall.
Yep.
And then some people only have allergies in the spring, you know, when the pine trees are going. And all that stuff in certain parts of the country. But we haven't had any rain. Most places have not had. In Texas, they haven't had any rain in forever.
Yeah, we've been pretty dry here, too. Forever. I mean, it's been pretty doggone dry. Now, do you get...
So when in the South and in the West, in the Southwest, when you don't have rain, then the allergies are worse because, you know, it's nothing to wash the atmosphere.
Yeah. And do you get them both? Do you get them in the spring and in the fall?
Yes, generally. Depends. The pine trees are really bad in like May for me. And then this time of year, it's called ragweed. There's another name for it, chinnopods or something.
Yeah.
But it's bad. It's bad. So, you know, you got all this stuff happening where they want you to either, you know, talking about 3 shots that you're supposed to get. And I'm waiting for, as we speak, to a doctor friend of mine to call me because I think I was going to get my flu shot today, and I think I still am.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to push you to go ahead and get that done. And then there's the COVID shot that some people are going to take and some people aren't. I am going to take it.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm not getting my medical advice from CNN or Fox News or News Nation or any of these other people or the internet or Drudge Report or anything else. I'm going to go with doctors who go to school to do this.
Now, listen, don't mark my words on this. This is just me. Generally, I feel pretty healthy, although I did have a run of some very bad health in February, but it had to do with an accident, not necessarily, cardio work or whatever. But I've been fairly healthy over the years, so I've never taken the flu shot. I've never had it.
No, I didn't for a long time. I don't know that, and even to this day, knock on wood, I don't know that I've ever had the flu, but I don't want to find out.
Okay, fair.
I've had pneumonia.
Yeah,
I've had pneumonia, and I have since had a pneumonia shot, and pneumonia is bad news. And as you gain years, I mean, you can die from pneumonia at 30.
Yeah, true.
And I was about that when I had double pneumonia and nearly did die. But as you get older, you can't be messing around with a lot of this stuff. So you got to stay ahead of it. And if it's a vaccine, then there's the third shot, RSV. And that's what I'm really waiting for the doctor to tell me about. One of my doctors just didn't seem to have a vote on that.
Yeah.
He was still kind of, I think that's all even new for some of the doctors.
I think
this RSV thing. So, it's just, what do you do? I
think it's personal. I do.
I take the stuff.
Yeah. I think
there's also something you can take that I didn't take up until I think I took it maybe last year was when I finally did it. And I'm having trouble remembering what you call it. It starts with an S and it makes you feel like you're on fire.
What kind of medicine is it?
No, it's not medicine. It's a disease.
Oh.
And it's called shingles.
Oh,
yes. It is absolutely something you don't want. It is like the worst thing. The light hurts your eye. Everything hurts. It's just really terrible. So I went ahead and got those shots. If you ever had the mumps or measles or any of those kind of things that you're a child of the 50s or 60s, you probably did. And I took that, and that was a 2-round deal. So I take all the shots. I've had my pneumonia shot and everything. I'm a believer in modern medicine. If it can help you, do it. And some people don't. Some people won't take aspirin.
I was just going to say, it's the only thing that I do take, and I do that just to make sure I don't die from a heart attack somewhere. But I remember taking a single baby aspirin. I ran into a doctor friend of mine, and he said, what are you doing for heart health? I said, well, I take an aspirin a day. And he said, a full-size aspirin? I said, no, a baby aspirin. And he said, well, you better take 2 if you want it to do anything. So since then, I've been taking 2 a day.
But then, you got to make sure if you go to the dentist to stop it a couple of days.
Right, or you bleed to death.
And stuff like that, it bleed to death. So, it's just trying to stay healthy, trying not to get sick, trying to use what they tell you to do is very hard. And now this time of year, as we all go into the winter, you've got, all this stuff that's going on. People have hay fever. People have COVID now. That's happened. Nashville's definitely had trouble with COVID
Have you?
already
Yeah.
this season. This RSV thing going around with little kids
Oh yeah,
and
terrible.
old people need to probably have that shot. And then the shingles is just the worst thing. I'm telling you, everybody ought to be scared to death about getting shingles.
I am knock on wood. I've never had that, but I do.
Well, you don't have if you even knew anybody had it, you'd be scared of it.
Yeah, no.
And so I went ahead and took that to hopefully ward that away. But it's just this time of year when you start going into winter. I've hated summer this year. I have not liked the summer.
Yeah, it's been hot. It's been really hot. And you brought up wintertime too, and I'll just throw this out there. And you're not in probably a place like where I am, where wintertime becomes very dark. We don't see the sun
depressing.
A lot. You can get depression. Yeah, they actually sell lights for people that get depressed that has UV value. So you sit in front of that light. It's supposed to make you happy. I don't know how well it works, but depression is a big thing too in the wintertime.
Yeah, it's just so anyway, you try to stay healthy. And I don't even know how we got on that subject other than the fact that I have allergies and I sound like I'm holding my nose when I talk.
You do. But let me ask you a question, because you brought up COVID and you brought up the shot and the flu and all that. But COVID, let's go back to COVID just for a second. And I was thinking about it while you were talking about it, and I thought, here we go again, this year again. Do you think, and I'll tell you, I kind of do, and that's the reason I'm asking you, but do you think COVID is just here to stay? I mean, is it something we're going to have to deal with every year? Is there going to be
Sounds like it.
I think so.
In some form. I think it goes around.
Yeah.
And it was so politicized.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
I even to this day, no matter what side, I don't know what side to believe.
I don't either.
I mean, I know that sometimes they were doing things to make you feel better, even though there's nothing you can do about it. It's like a placebo. And I think wearing those masks to some degree was that way. Although if you wore the KN95 mask, that's a great mask and you're not going to get anything from anybody most likely with that. But, all this washing your hands stuff, that's just basic medicine, is keeping your hands washed, keep it out of your mouth, keep it out of your nose.
Yeah.
And that stuff. That doesn't matter if it's flu, common cold, or anything else.
Yeah, no doubt.
So it's just, I hate the fact that we are so combative in this country politically. Out in your part of the country, Romney is retiring.
Is he? I didn't know.
Says he's old enough. He said that's it. It's time for a new generation of leaders. I agree with that. I think you need to have some gray hair, but you don't need to have what we got.
You brought it up. I mean, let's talk about Mitch McConnell. Obviously, he's had some brain things going on from
something ain't right.
Something ain't right. And people talk about, well, there should be an age limit, and I kind of disagree with that. I think there could be an age where you test people for cognition, just like
which they claim they're doing, with Biden, which I don't know that I believe, because something's obviously not right.
Yeah,
and Mitch McConnell has supposedly had every test in the world, and he is. But at some point, I mean, really,
right?
You got to stop. I mean, it's just look in the mirror. And these people just won't let go of their power.
Is it that? I mean, I think you're right. I think it's just like a Hollywood actor
can't let go.
Yeah.
There are plenty of things I don't want to do, as you get older, and things you can't do anymore. But, it's just, he is right. It is time for a new generation of leaders. But with that also said, you cannot throw out everybody with gray hair, because that's bad.
Right.
You got to have some people with experience. It's a balance.
Wow.
It's a balance.
You might have stumbled upon something or something you've thought out maybe, but I mean, what about a percentage of the Senate or the House or the government that's X amount? You can only hold this position if you're underage whatever and overage whatever. I mean, I don't know.
Well, the president thing, you got to be 35.
Yeah, which isn't
old. I don't think
old.
there's an upper end limit on that, because our forefathers never thought that was going to be an issue.
It's true. You're right. Yeah.
They never thought it would, because they were old.
Yeah.
And now I don't really know how old they were. They seemed like they were old, didn't they?
Maybe they weren't, though. I mean, maybe these guys didn't live as long as we do, right?
Let's ask somebody. Alexa, how old was Ben Franklin when he died?
From Answers.com. Benjamin Franklin died on April 17, 1790 at the age of 84.
84.
Yeah, but he was dead. That's how old our president is right now.
right now. And Ben Franklin looked like he was 184
Right,
in all the pictures on the money and everything else.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I don't know. I just really think that, you got to have some common sense up there,
Yeah.
and you got to keep young people involved, and you got to have people who are not lifelong politicians. That's the one thing that always. I mean, when I have a big one, I've been in news 50 years more.
Yeah, long time. Yeah.
How did these people that have never had a job other than a government job, how do they end up having multi-millions of dollars?
Oh, I can tell
you. Didn't pay them that much. I mean, they've been on government expense accounts, so I guess they could have saved every penny that the government gave them.
No, Jimmy, they got in. I have thought forever that they have been privy to information that will allow them to make investments that the general public can't
make. That's against the law, insider trading.
It is insider trading, but I mean, look at Nancy Pelosi's husband who bought that big electric car stock, and then the government awards, the postal service with electric vehicles or whatever. I mean, that's crazy.
It's just. I mean, we have, and now we're going. Now they're going after Trump, of course.
Yeah.
Which is way overkill of what they're doing with that, and it taking so long. And then with the Biden thing, I mean, I think they're all guilty of stuff.
I agree. I agree. And if you committed a crime,
but then let's get a little deeper and pull back the scab a little bit, and you'll see that. I just ask a question. This person's never had a job.
Yeah.
I mean, Romney was a millionaire before he got that, so you understand where that's coming. Many people in the Senate are millionaires because they came in that way.
Yeah,
the Hines family, and that's always been sort of a House of Lords.
Yeah, it's a generational wealth where they passed it down to,
So that you understand where that's coming from.
Sure.
But some of these other people in government, you go, what is that all about?
Yeah. No, I agree. By the way, if we were asking about old presidents, Abraham Lincoln died when he was 56.
Okay.
I know that's an exception, but he was 56.
I guess, it was 56 was kind of old in those days, wasn't it?
I guess. I mean, I think so. I mean, especially if you think about he was president. I don't know what our youngest president has been, to be honest. I don't know, but
Kennedy was one of them. He was
definitely
30-something.
Yeah, definitely. He was. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I mean, that's almost. I mean, you look at
politics is just frustrating. I mean,
it is.
It's just frustrating of how we deal with issues and how we do things to distract.
Yes.
I mean, people are saying that, well, the economy is better, meat prices and whatever has gone down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, gasoline prices are going up. So if gasoline prices go up, everything goes up with it, because everything comes to you on oil and gas.
Yes.
It's just, what are people that stupid that they don't understand or how they, attach one and one.
I hope
they're not. I don't get it.
I hope they're not that stupid. I really do. I mean, I don't.
It's really, though, they're pushing this electric thing. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's just obviously not going to work in some places. And we've been through this, no sense in even talking about it again. But it's just just odd. Like you said, Pelosi pushes this thing and her husband gets rich, off of mail carriers with electric vehicles and all that.
Yeah.
And you just wonder, how are they going to pull this off without, taking the whole country down in the process? Because we can't even get phone service and the internet in some places. How are we going to get electric lines to charge? And then, with the whole real foolish thing is, and maybe they found an answer to that. You see where they found down in Nevada, I think, and some super volcano out there may have all this platinum and
I did not see that.
Yeah, that was somewhere in Nevada. Nevada's rich with all that kind of stuff.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's good.
So they may have solved some of that problem. But the fact that we get most of these things from other places.
Yeah, makes no sense.
And it makes no sense. We're totally insane when it comes to most of this. In this phone business, iPhone.
Oh, yeah.
All right. 15. One of our biggest companies is Apple. I watched the presentation. I have an iPhone 14 Pro Max because I felt like it was a good, it was an important camera, and it has been good. Yeah. I have no problems with the phone, except for in the past week, I've had 3 call fails, and that's 3 more than I've had the whole time I've had the phone. But isn't it weird how your phone starts doing weird stuff as they get near the iOS change?
You know what?
And it's very odd.
I'm so glad you said that. I've been thinking that for a long time because I used to keep my phone forever. And then I've recently started running into a problem, and it always seems like, Jimmy, I don't know, a couple months before they announced the new version that I start having some issues. I got to reboot my phone. My battery runs down quickly. I mean, that would not be hard to design a phone that did that, right? That automatically.
Oh, you would? Well, I don't know.
I mean, come on.
I know they're changing stuff all the time, and they're changing software. They're making things more complicated, and they want to play more technical games.
Yeah.
That are, I get all that. It's not for me, but I mean, I understand that a lot of people are gamers.
But what if they are shutting these down? What if they are?
That would be like that's the same thing. What if these politicians are getting rich? Off of insider trading. Oh my God. Round up the usual suspects.
Yeah, no kidding.
Because it's just wow. That's all I can say to that.
No kidding.
But it really is. This. And by the way, they're going after. I'm sure as you've done this, they're going after Biden now. They want to impeach him.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Okay, they're going to spend millions and millions of dollars
of our dollars
investigating, getting tax dollars, getting all this together so you can impeach him, and then it's going to go nowhere in the Senate,
right?
And so it's going to be a big waste of time.
And we already know that.
I don't understand the point of doing it. I mean, they did the same thing to Trump. Trump is being. In some of these things he's done, some of these things he probably hadn't done, and some of these things are a stretch of the law. But some of this stuff he is absolutely guilty of.
Have they?
I mean, he did the documents thing. Now, whether it should be a guilt or not, I don't know. But they're just trying to do anything to keep him from being able to run, and it's no secret that they're trying to do that. He still polls, and then with Biden. He's still the best bet, I think, for them.
What else?
But nobody wants him. Almost every Democrat, wants him to go away because he's too old.
But there's nobody in his place.
There's nobody to take his. I mean,
it's
Gavin Newsom. He seems to be the one circling around, and I don't think anybody really wants him.
Yeah,
and
he's California, right? Isn't he? He's governor.
He's California. Governor, former mayor of San Francisco.
Let me ask you
that message.
Let me ask you a question too, because you brought up the word impeachment, which used to be. Now it's
terrible.
It was a terrible word when that whole deal was going on with the tapes and Watergate and all that, and that impeachment felt like, oh my gosh, could this really be happening? It's such a big deal. Then Clinton, then Trump. Now Biden. It feels like impeachment, just the act or the word, has been cheapened now. It's like everybody's like,
now it's just like, we're going to impeach everybody. Every president that comes along,
right.
We're going to impeach.
Right.
We may not convict, but we're going to impeach.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know. Nobody's above the law. No. I know that, and I feel the same way.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't either.
I mean, also, like Nixon, he quit before they could get him to do that.
And that is right.
And he did the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He did the right thing on that.
That's just
and some of these other folks should consider doing the right thing, but they don't.
Yeah.
But this iPhone, I just can't get excited about the new. Now, if you've got like an iPhone 6 or 7,
get the new one.
Like that. We're up to 15.
Right.
At some point, you're going to have to buy a new phone because the security, the software, and everything else are just going to stop working on your phone. And many of you resist doing anything like banking or any kind of bill paying on your phone, whereas many, many people do that. And if you're going to do that, you need great security. And the newer iOS, and you're not able to update your security, particularly if you've got an iPhone, whatever, way back.
Mm-hmm.
And the camera is so different this time for those who have not upgraded. If you've got a 7, 8, a 9, and even a 10, phones work. But if you ever take pictures, the camera that's on the phone now, for me, that I paid a lot of money for, is going to be the camera that's on the phone on the newer small phones.
What do you have?
They're taking that big a jump.
You got a 14?
In the quality of the camera.
You have a 14 right now?
14 Pro Max.
So I got the 13 mini. I don't know if you could see that from there, but it's I didn't know. It's the Taylor Swift edition.
Okay.
Did you know she had an iPhone?
I don't know. I mean, whatever it was, I wasn't going to get it.
I did. I just thought the red was cool. But yeah, when you get up into because I went from a 6 or a 7 to a 13, the camera is way better than it used to be.
Way better.
Way better.
And I just don't think the camera is way better. I didn't see anything on that menu that said man, I got to have this phone. It's,
Yeah.
yes, the Zoom is a little longer
Mm.
and that type of thing, but it's just,
When
I don't
they,
know. But see, what I'm doing is I subscribe.
mm-hmm.
I pay $69 or so every month for my phone.
Okay.
And when it comes to like now a year, because it comes out every year,
Yeah.
uh, you go ahead and fill it in, then they pay it off. They take your phone back, give you a new phone,
Oh, so
and
you're
you pay
like
like
kind of
$50 or something.
you're like leasing the phone, sort of.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't want
interesting.
to. Yeah, because you get rid of it every year.
Yeah.
But I may go back and do the paperwork on it. But it's just what do you? I don't really want to because
Mm-hmm.
it seems like it's frivolous money spending. But put that on the side and then look if you have a car today. When I was on that vacation, I had car trouble.
Mm-hmm.
First car trouble I've had in ages. The car steam red lights came on the dashboard.
Yeah.
Steam is coming out of the hood. And this is a relatively new car.
Mm-hmm.
And so I immediately had to pull over, took it to the shop. Nobody wants to look at your car today. Everybody's service center is full.
Mm-hmm.
They're all backed up, whether it's a Firestone store or your car dealer.
That is true.
You can't just walk in there at any one point, particularly if you're not one of their customers,
right?
And you're just passing through. They didn't even want to look at my car. Some of them just refused to look at my car all the way around. But some said we might be able to get to it on Thursday, and it was Monday.
Wow, that's
so you're going to be stuck somewhere for days while they look at your car and see if they can get around to looking for it. And if they do find what's wrong with it, I can almost guarantee you they don't have the parts on hand.
Why are they so backlogged? Why are they? Are they overbooked?
They don't have enough. People are keeping their cars longer.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Because it costs so much. And people are getting them worked on, and they're keeping these cars running longer because people are driving used cars and whatever.
Yeah.
But and just because if you're a mechanic or air conditioner installer or plumber, man, you're gonna make a good money in your life. You're gonna work.
Yeah.
But man, you're gonna make a lot more than white collar people most of the time.
Yeah, it's not going away. That's for sure. I mean,
so I've got a car now. It needs to be normally I would trade.
Yeah.
But it's just the interest rates.
Yep.
The upside down you get when you trade too often.
Yeah.
And all that stuff, works against you. So you really don't know what you need to do. And I don't like that feeling of not having a car that's dependable. So what do you do? We're just in a strange time in this country about a lot of things, about taking shots, about maybe buying a car, not buying a car, buying an app, not buying an app. People don't want to have Hulu, but they have this, they have that, and they couldn't get the football games last weekend on some of the things because Spectrum and Charter were having a fight with ABC, and all these things that are just going on in society. You feel like sometimes, even though I think we are moving forward all the time, you feel like some things we're actually moving backwards.
Well, there's definitely a certain aspect of uncertainty, like you're not sure you're going to have that job. You're not sure you're going to be making that kind of money. You're not sure that you can afford. I mean, look at the credit card interest rate. That's gone up. So everybody who's had credit card debt now is paying 17 to 20, 25% interest.
Yeah.
You never will pay that card off. I mean, it's just going to keep compounding unless, you get some kind of great
job. And that's where the country is in big trouble with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
So I don't know, a lot of people just, and no wonder, people are drinking their own pot or doing something all the time because it's a lot of load out there that you got to kind of take in, and that's why I cannot, and I have not more. I would say the maximum amount I've listened to or watched would be maybe 30 minutes a week of CNN and Fox.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm with you.
I'll read the news somewhere and do whatever, but it's just poison. I mean, they're both on opposite ends of the rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
One's just beating the drum, Hunter Biden, Hunter Biden, and the other one, Trump. And it just I don't think it's good for you. I don't
either.
And I'm a news guy, and I technically can't get enough news, but I just can't take the yan that goes on these so-called news stations that are really arms of the Republican and Democratic Party.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I think they've got the money to throw at it to make the story bigger so that everybody picks it up, and runs with it. And then
they're trying just to get an audience too,
yeah,
because controversy sells.
Yeah, sure.
And you can't be namby-pamby about it. But I don't know. I just got tired of hearing it.
Yeah,
and,
I think you're right. And I think
on the TV side anyway.
You said controversy sells, and obviously it gets ratings and all that good stuff. I mean, Trump, when he started running for office, he made so much money for these news agencies. It's that formula is still there, right? They think that's going to continue. And I think at a certain point, you and I are a good example of it, where you get tired of it, where you just go, I'm only going to digest so much of that. And then I want to know about the bus crash, or I want to know what's going on with the city center. Are they going to get the roads paved by December? Whatever.
Well, I know I was privy to some people that did some research, and people generally don't want to hear about the shootings in their town.
Interesting.
Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Which is the ostrich approach.
Yeah, sure.
To everything.
Yeah.
Because you need to know where the shootings are in your town so you won't get shot, for one thing, and to know that there is violence. I'm looking right now. Here's the news in San Francisco on Channel 7.
Okay.
The biggest story is California fast food healthcare workers poised to win major salary increases. All right. They probably do need more salary. But what's going to happen to the cost of food? You been to McDonald's lately? It is not cheap anymore.
It ain't going down, I can tell you that.
It ain't going down, or they're doing shrinkflation.
Do you have
where things are smaller and all that?
Do you have a restaurant near you called Dickey's? It's like a barbecue joint. It's like I guess it would be like any barbecue joint. They have brisket and barbecue and all that.
Right.
My wife and I drove through. It's fast food. I mean, it's McDonald's style, but it's a little, it's a step up. I mean, they have some of the restaurants have bars and stuff like that, but it's a drive-through. We got some meat, we got some bread, we got some salads or whatever. By the time we were done, Jimmy, it was $60.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like,
I mean,
what?
I did dinner for 5 people the other day at a kind of little, not a low-end steakhouse.
Okay. Yeah.
Where it's lunchtime. And it was $100 and something.
Unreal.
For 5 of us to have, not much.
Yeah. And I hate to say it.
I always ask, how can these people afford all this stuff?
Yeah.
And look at the sticker prices on a car. My God. Now, one thing they're doing is they're stretching it out further, like 1,000 months or whatever to keep the payments to some reason. But you can't keep a car that long. You're going to be upside down because it's going to wear out.
Yeah, you're right.
Before you pay for the car.
I looked at trucks the other day because I got to this point where I've kind of started thinking, gosh, I'm renting trailers to do this and do that. I really should have a truck. I always had a truck before. I don't have one now. I priced some trucks. I was floored. I mean, you're talking $80,000. Yeah.
Yes. No, that's standard.
Oh,
80,000 between 70 and 80,000 for generally. I mean, the low end stripped down, nothing on it with moon hubcaps.
Yeah.
Is 40-something thousand.
Unreal. Unreal.
Yeah, it is. And I look at, and you look at what you paid for a car, like a Pontiac Firebird in 1977 was like $10,000 or $11,000.
Right. Brand new.
Brand new.
And
it was a great car.
Yeah.
But you look at this, I'm just looking at more news.
Yeah.
And it's just Moderna says its combined COVID flu shot could be ready by 2025. Okay, they can put them both together.
Yeah, sure.
San Mateo company buying Millbrae Hotel for supportive housing conversion. Now, I don't know what that means. I think they're going to take the hotel and turn it into a housing shelter.
Section 8, maybe?
Is that what that means?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see. The hotel will be remodeled into permanent supportive housing for families and seniors.
Yeah.
So I guess that's government housing.
Maybe low income, maybe fixed income. I don't know. But yeah.
That usually doesn't work out to be a wonderful thing for everybody.
No.
But
rough.
I mean, it's just a lot of things people question, and you just got to be. I worry about my children all the time out there, drunk drivers, people running into. I mean, I've heard it just within my own family, big family unit. Some drunk ran into somebody's car. One of them, some guy who wasn't drunk necessarily, who didn't speak English, was Asian of some sort, ran into the back of my daughter's car.
Yeah,
everybody's airbags activated, had no insurance. couldn't speak English and all that stuff. I mean, it scares me to death, to go out. People randomly, and it's not just headlines in the news. It's for real. Yeah. There are bad people out there driving around, and you just can't walk the streets and jog. If you're anybody, man or woman, at 9 or 10 o'clock at night, children you worry about. Oh yeah, for everything, and you worry about a lot of worry, a lot of anxiety, I guess, in the country. I
think you just nailed it. And I don't know how to alleviate that, but I know our good friend Ed used to say. I'm talking about Ed Santos. He used to say, be aware of your situation. So anytime I go to the gas station or anytime I'm at a store or at a restaurant, I sit where I can see the door. I look around before, I have an underground parking garage right now where I work, and it's, it's not really bright in there. It can be a little dark, and I get there really early in the morning, and I look around. I look around to see what was there yesterday, what's here today. And, you got to be aware of your surroundings, but somebody told me a long time ago not to worry so much because 85%, and I don't know if this is true or not, I have to look it up, 85% of the things we worry about don't come true.
Well, that's probably true.
I would guess.
Only an idiot that, doesn't. Alfred E. Newman for Mad Magazine doesn't worry. I mean, if you're a news person, I've seen all these things. I've covered all these tragedies.
That's true.
And
they're
I'm
real.
Extremely aware of what can happen, and I'm even surprised all the time. You don't know, so you try to be as aware as you can, but sticking your head in the ground and leaving your ass up in the air is not a good way to live.
No, it's not. I mean, look at this guy from where was he? Pennsylvania, the guy that broke out
the guy, he was out for 13 days. He stole somebody's car. He stole a rifle. They finally got him.
Yeah, thank God.
Today. But I mean, you can't go around letting it paralyze you, but you've got to try to be smart, and that's why you take your vaccinations and you do all that to try to prevent bad things from happening to you.
Yeah, or your Jack Daniels.
You got to do your part. You got to do your part. Yeah,
you got to relieve the anxiety somehow. Kickboxing, maybe mountain biking, something. You got.
I don't know. Music has always been a good outlet for me.
I agree.
Singing has always been a good outlet. There are plenty of ways to do it, and I've gotten hooked on this show. And man, I can't. I'm almost done with it. Really.
What are you watching?
But it has been with me now for weeks.
What is
Suits?
Oh, everybody's talking about it, and it's not new. It's been out.
No,
it's been out for
a
year.
They have 16 or so episodes a year.
Okay,
and they're 9 years.
Is it great? I mean,
it's like anything else. You kind of get hooked on the people,
Yeah. Okay.
And you want to know how they're going to get out of this and how they're going to get out of this.
All right. I'll watch it.
It's addictive. I'm on season 7, maybe.
Jimmy,
6 or 7.
Is it Ozark good? Is it as good as Ozark?
It's similar. It's like that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do it.
Except it's law. I don't normally like legal stuff. I wasn't into most of that L.A. law and all that stuff. But this is there. I don't know. Something about it. The people are good. This is the one Meghan Markle is on.
Yeah.
And she was actually really good.
Huh. I'll watch a couple episodes.
She was really good in that show, Suits. So anyway, I'm doing that, and then the morning show, episode 3, has started.
They've started pushing that
out my window right now. Do you hear him?
Yeah. What's he doing? Is he trying to get in?
Air, this blower, thing.
Don't trust him, Jimmy. Don't trust him. You got to watch it.
He's got his backpack on. I guess you may want to hold on for a second.
No, I can't even hear it. I can't even hear it at all.
You can't. He's blowing everything to death.
Okay, I'm going to watch the morning show. I'm going to watch Suits. And you want to sing us out? Since singing and music relieves anxiety, you want to sing us out today?
I'll do something my mother used to do.
Okay, let's go.
My mother didn't cuss.
Okay.
She was
admirable.
She was a good, admirable lady, mother of the 50s. And I was somebody that made mamas cuss. I mean, if you were going to cuss, you'd cuss at me. Okay. And so instead of cussing, whenever I did something that would possibly have elicited a cuss word,
yes,
she would start clapping her hands like this and go, "Lord, have mercy on my soul. Lord, have mercy on my soul." And she'd just do this, sing that gospel song until she felt better.
And you knew what that meant, right? You walked out of the room.
Well, I knew that I made my mother so mad she had to sing gospel music to keep from killing her.
I love it. Well, until next time, to alleviate anxiety, sing gospel music, and we'll check in with you again next week.
Whatever it takes.
right here on Sweep of the
Lord,
Country.
have mercy on my
Have
soul.
mercy. I love it, Jimmy. Till next
Lord,
time,
have
we'll
mercy
see you.
on my soul.